afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our fourth Future Anything semi-final for today. My gosh, we have had an incredible day from our first three semi-finals. We have three teams through to our pitching grand final, and we have another three teams through as showcase. And the caliber of ideas from our young people has just been next level. And I know that this semi-final is going to be no different. Now, to kick off, I want to show you something that should be familiar, but I'd love for you to reflect for a second how old you were when you first saw this map. And then I would like to show you a second map. I would have been a good, in my late 20s, I think, by the time I saw this map. So a good 2.5 decades after seeing the first map, which is always quite curious to me, because as we know, this map is about 65,000 years older than the first map. So to kick off our semi-finals today, I just want to, acknowledge the traditional owners on the land in which we live, work, play, learn, and create as our first innovators, as our first entrepreneurs. I'm joining us from Meanjin, Brisbane, where Future Anything headquarters is. And so, I just really pay my respects to the Yagara and the Turrbal people today, and from whomever's lands that you join us from around Australia and potentially the world. In fact, wherever you are, we'd love to see some shots in action. So if you're watching our semi-finals, we'd love for you to take a sneaky selfie. If you're at one of our schools and we've got some watch parties go on, please grab some photos of these watch parties and share them, because we would love to see you all checking out our young people. Over the last three semi-finals, we have had probably over 1,000 votes come through on our people's vote. So we know that there are hundreds and hundreds of people watching every single semi-final, which is pretty extraordinary. And so I'm sure this semi-final will be no different. So today we're actually seeing 5 of our teams who have come out of our Activate program for this year. And so over the course of a term or a semester, they've been tackling this mission here in their schools. And so they've picked the problems they care about, and then they've ideated, prototyped, and today they're pitching those innovative ideas with you. And our winning team from today will go through to our national grand final for the chance to walk away with almost $20,000 in prizes and funding to launch their idea out of the classroom and into the real world. And so, I don't know, maybe let's check out some of our previous winners. I'd love to introduce you to Tanika, who won our 2018 National Grand Final from Springfield Central State High School in the Ipswich Corridor in Queensland. The challenge that she wanted to solve was bullying. And so she designed school socks that were white above the surface of the shoe, so she couldn't get in trouble for wearing non-uniform socks, but partnered with a graffiti artist called Mulga to design these really cool patterns that went underneath the shoe line. The metaphor of her socks was, you don't know what's underneath the surface for young people. And a portion of the profits from the sale of each pair of socks went to support Headspace. Now we go to 2019, and actually Springfield Central State High School went back to back with their team Culture Hood. And so these young 3 Polynesian students stumbled across a statistic that said that those within the Polynesian community were more likely to see or experience domestic violence than a lot of other cultures. And so they wanted to do something about this challenge that was affecting their community. So they took their Polynesian-inspired designs and printed them down the sleeves of hoodies, which they called Culture Hood. And a portion of the profits from each hoodie went to support victims of domestic violence. Then we go to 2020, where 3 students from St. Andrews on the Sunshine Coast walked away with the win for their innovative idea called Aqua Shield. They were sick of seeing sharks and other sea life trapped within the nets that were off their coast, and thought, with technology today, there has to be a better way to stop sharks getting into the beach. So they took the technology that surfers wear in wristbands that repel sharks from coming near them, and retrofitted this tech on flotation devices that they dropped off the coast at intervals to create an invisible barrier that they called Aqua Shield. Then we go to 2021, where Chloe Alley from Redcliffe State High School walked away with the win for her concept, which is now called By Chloe. When Chloe was 11, her grandparents gifted her a sewing machine, and so she took this sewing machine and started sewing her own wheat bags. For every wheat bag that she sold, she partnered with One Tree Planted, who plant a tree to support the environment. Chloe's now got like a busy small business where she has a number of stockists around the country, and she's currently working with Moreton Bay Council to start a market especially for young founders, that will be occurring just before Christmas this year. So if you're a founder with a cool product and you'd love a market in Moreton Bay to sell your wares, please get in contact with us, because we would love to share Chloe's details with you so that you can get involved in that. And then we go to last year, and the winners of 2022's National Grand Final was EcoBed, two students from Marymount College. And after their dog destroyed every single dog bed that Jai ever gave it, they actually used Kevlar, which is a sustainable material that is used in bulletproof vests, to reimagine the dog bed. So it was eco-friendly and indestructible at the same time. The boys walked away with a prize package close to $20,000 to launch their idea, and they're currently working through that at the moment, which is super exciting. The real question is, from our 5 pitching teams today, will we see this year's grand final winner amongst the 5? Who knows? I do know this. Let's dig into what the structure of this next 50 or so minutes is going to look like. I'm going to talk for a little bit longer, and then we're going to introduce the judges, who are extraordinary humans that we are stoked to have involved in today's event. Then we're going to have our 5 teams pitching, and then hand over to the judges to deliberate, and you will have the opportunity to vote for your favourite. Now, the structure of today's pitching is that each team has 3 minutes in order to pitch their idea. 30 seconds out from that 3 minutes, they'll hear this noise. And then when they hit time at 3 minutes, they'll hear this noise. At which point they will be completely cut off and unable to finish further if they haven't finished their pitch. After they finish pitching, the judges have 4 minutes for questions, at which point, at the end of which, they will deliberate and choose one overall winner who will go straight through to the stage at our grand final to pitch. And they will also choose a runner-up who will go through as a showcase team with a trade show display in our marketplace at the National Grand Final. Now, if you're watching, you also have a degree of responsibility. It's not all on the judges. At the end of the pitching, whilst the judges deliberate, we will also open the people's vote. And during that time, you'll have the opportunity to pick your favourite. Now, the winner of the people's vote goes into a wildcard pool where one of the people's vote winners will be chosen to go through to the National Grand Final showcase. So there is like a second chance draw if you manage to nab the most votes in the people's vote, which is super cool. Now, enough from me. Let's bring our judges to the stage and introduce them. We're super excited to have Alan, Deb, and Adele join us. Let's give them a virtual round of applause as they join us from wherever they are in the world. Now, team, I'm really curious to know, what are you looking for in an idea today? Okay, because there's lots of moving parts that students can bring into their pitches. What's the one magic component that you're looking for? And Alan, I'll start with you.
Thank you very much. I wish all the teams good luck, but what I'm looking for is the confidence and poise in the pitch. It'll be the one thing I really want to see.
Excellent. All right, Deb, over to you. What are you looking for?
Hey, Nick, and thank you. I am actually looking for an idea that can grow. You know, it's not just for the local community. It can grow and potentially go worldwide with the right support and coaching.
Excellent. So we're looking for poise. We're looking for that scalability piece, like where could it go? And then Adele, what are you looking for in a pitch today?
Does the idea solve a problem? So that's probably the main thing.
All right. So they've got to solve a problem, pitch it confidently, and show the judges how that idea could grow or scale. You know what? I'm pretty confident that they're going to deliver on this. I've got a really good feeling. You know what? Enough from us. Should we just crack in and bring our first team to the stage? All right. So joining us from Canterbury College, taking the stage with their enterprise, Ashan Industries. Ashutosh, how are you feeling, sir?
I'm feeling very good. I'm very excited to present my idea to the judges.
We are so excited to have you a part of our finals this year. So you have 3 minutes to share your idea. Don't worry about the polish if you make a mistake. What's important here is you just tell us about your idea and tell us why it matters to you. Good luck.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Ashutosh, and this is my baby brother Vishan. Vishan is 7 years old. He loves lollies, watching Peppa Pig, and stacking blocks. Vishan is my inspiration for my business. What you don't know about my brother is that when he was 2, he was diagnosed with nonverbal autism. Hearing the news that Vishan would be nonverbal changed our world. We were introduced to a range of speech pathologists, occupational therapists, and many, many appointments. Speech pathologists have helped our whole family to support Vishan in communicating his wants and needs. That's when we were introduced to the textbook, an in-person visual prompting card system, a simple and easy design for communicating needs using picture cards. For example, a picture card for water to represent thirst. However, despite its clear benefits, I like the futuristic approach, a technological application. Our pursuit for practicality rendered me shocked, as I found current applications were expensive and hard to use, which meant the average person wouldn't be able to understand my brother, nor would he be understood in return, which is unacceptable to me. That's when I came with the idea for a new app. Peter, next slide, please. I love an acronym. So Peter is your personalized, electronic, everyday treatment and care advisor, a highly improved communication platform for neurodivergent children to help them with communication needs, called Voca. My app differs from competitors with price and also my personalization of my users' needs. Next slide, please. Our journey with Vishan and his friends has taught me that neurodiverse children need differentiation. My personalized system uses 3 different levels of communication: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Let me step you through this. The beginner level will provide easy to understand visual prompting cards to build up foundational communication skills. Intermediate level provides transitional prompting cards, starting to spell out words and increasing the difficulty of our navigation, consisting of splitting communication into their feelings, their needs, and their wants. The advanced level includes sign language prompting cards. Next slide, please. The 3 levels provide a simple way to begin engaging in alternative communication and progress our users in the development of communication in an innovative way. My 5-year plan includes additional features and future updates. Market research conducted at special schools showed the impact this app will have, with parents and teachers identifying issues with current devices and agreeing that price and usability are significant factors that will make them change to my communication needs. Next slide, please. Currently, we're at the design stage of app development journey, requiring a UX and UI design. I've already consulted with software engineers at Microsoft and Go On for advice. I require a small investment of $3,000 to make our minimum viable product. I am seeking mentorship, partners, and investors to fund the full application development process to then be released. Next slide, please. I'm determined to make this app to assist my brother and families with neurodivergent children. I'm asking the Future Anything team and everyone here today to come along with this journey. Together, we can empower the side.
I mean, it's a bit of a mic drop moment when you time it for exactly when the 3 minutes finishes. That was very slick. Excellent work. All right, so our judges have the opportunity to ask you a clarifying question. Deb, I'm going to start with you. Have you got a question for Ashutosh about his idea?
I do. If your product isn't available, is the only other solution the visual cards that you mentioned, or are there competitors in this field?
That's a great question. Thank you. There are competitors in the field, but like I said before, they're both expensive and very hard to use, which meant they're very hard to get used to when first going into the application. For example, the user experience and user interface was very hard to use, which meant it wouldn't really be easy in developing the communication skills.
So the competition is an app, but it's way more complicated than what you're suggesting.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, and expensive.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome, great question. Alan, over to you.
Yes, I have a question. Thank you. Ashley, could you give us an idea about how much work you think is involved in taking it from where it's at now to a working prototype?
Yeah. Thank you. So firstly, we're looking from the back end of 2023 to the start of 2024. We're looking at consulting with UX and UI designers to create wireframes for the application, and that will help to create our minimum viable product. And so we're using that because obviously the app development process is a very expensive and difficult process. So using for example, Google Cloud Platform or Amazon Web Services, we can create a basic version of the app with core features, and that will reduce the cost. That's why it's only $3,000 to create that. That's why we've made it less expensive. But this will also prove our concept and also our functionality and viability as a business. And from then on, we look towards that will really be beneficial when looking towards future investors. For example, could be like NDIS or like other investors, and then that'll really prove our concept. And so after that, we'll look towards the final app development stage, and then we'll probably release it back end of 2024, hopefully maybe start of 2025. And for our minimum viable product, we can test it out with NDIS, special schools such as my brother's, and I think that will really help to developing our functionality and viability as a business, and that will really help towards the final creating up to the final app development.
Good, thank you. And my apologies, I called you by your industry's name. Sorry, my fault. Thank you.
Very detailed answer. Adele, over to you. Question.
Well, Alan's question kind of got to I was trying to work out how you landed on the $3,000 as the investment. So that sort of just got answered in that last question. But I do love that it's a lived experience, and I love that you mentioned having a 5-year plan. So I can pretty much leave it there.
Thank you.
Yeah, maybe you can help me with my 5-year plan. Maybe we should sit down and then map that one out together. Excellent work. Always tough to go first, but in some ways this is great because you can just like sit back and relax now. Like all the hard work is done. So congratulations. Excellent work. And we're going to move on to our second pitch. So we're going to the Gold Coast to Marymount College, and we've got Beatbox joining us from the Goldie. Liberty and Taya, how are you feeling?
Good. Hi, very good.
I mean, I'm loving the setup here.
Thank you. Thank you.
I feel like maybe your concept has something to do with the beach.
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Good.
All right, legends. We are so excited for your pitch. We're ready when you are.
Thank you. How much plastic do you consume daily? Every year, more than 14 million tons of plastic ends up in the ocean. How does this even happen? 2 words, being careless. Even the simplest things in our everyday lives contribute to plastic pollution waste, whether it be kitchenware, household cleaning items, the little particles in your door, or even surfboards. Next.
Someone is always out surfing. That same surfboard is contributing to our plastic pollution problem.
Next. Surfboards, which are one of the most used Australian products, are made from fiberglass and polystyrene, 2 materials that are both plastic-based. Shaping surfboards leaves significant excess dust residue. This bag contains 10 surfboards worth of dust wastage. In Australia, on average, 24 surfboards are made per day, meaning if one surfboard produces 600 grams of plastic dust waste, more than 10,800 grams of dust is left to be dumped and blown into our oceans, where it takes at least 1,000 years to break down. Future Anything enabled us to sit down and force us to look in depth to find a solution to this harmful byproduct. To create a product that had recycled these materials, we had to think outside the box. Next.
The beach box is a 3D rectangular box measured 50 centimeters in length, 30 centimeters in width, and 30 centimeters in height. There are 2 compartments. Compartment 1 takes up 3/4 of the box, with a flip lid on the top that is used for easy access to store wet swimmers and wetsuits to drain and air out. Compartment 2 is a small waterproof drawer that collects the water from the wetsuits stored above.
Next. To produce the beach box, fiberglass and polystyrene dust will be heated at an extremely high temperature of 540 degrees Celsius to form a liquid. It will then be molded into a hollow shape, rectangular shape with additional accessories like handles. Next.
We conducted a survey going out to all the locals, reaching more than 250 participants. 68% of the participants said that due to the box being eco-friendly, sustainable, and a quick and more efficient way of storing wet swimmers and wetsuits, that they would purchase one. 71% of surfers said that they pay at least $290 for this product.
Next, production cost. The cost of all components for the beach box concludes to $20 per accessories of the box. Molding the polystyrene and fiberglass is estimated at $250 per box. The beach box will be marketed at $390 per box. It is a typo on the PowerPoint. That will cover the cost of production, marketing, and labor. To get this product out into the market, we'll be asking for $35,000. This money will be used to invest further research and to develop marketing strategies to get the product ready and selling.
There is nothing like this on the market. The beach box is a unique product that saves the environment from a toxic substance while making surfers' lives easier.
Thank you.
Oh, time to burn. I love that the threat of the 3-minute timer has meant everybody has been so concise in their pitching. Congratulations, team. That was really strong. So really great work. We're going to throw over to our judges to ask some clarifying questions. Adele, I'm going to start with you. Any questions for the Beachbox team?
I noticed in your slides that you're going to sell worldwide. So I'm assuming online will be your main customer. Are you also looking at putting these in stores and in shops and retail, like, you know, the surf shops and places like that?
We have partnered with a couple of companies that have told us that they would produce and manufacture our product. We've been given like a small space in workshops to produce it, and then they will be sold in stores and online. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Gosh, excellent. Already got some partnerships going. Deb, question from you.
Yeah, my question's around the collection of the dust and materials that are going to be needed to make the product, given that surfboards are made in any number of, you know, regional or you know, site-specific locations, and you're going to be manufacturing this in one location. You know, like, how do you feel about the collection? You know, how are you going to do that, for one, because it's a really fine material, you sweep it up off the floor and potentially have contaminants, and then transport it, and so you've got that you know, sustainability kind of box that's not possibly being ticked if you're transporting this material across large distances.
Well, our products, so when surfboards are shaped, the dust ends up going into pollution anyway. So the companies will send the product to us, or we will collect it, because it ends up going into landfills anyway. So it's going, yeah, it'll be sent to us, or we'll be go and collect it.
Yeah, we could start off small, basing ourselves in the Gold Coast and in local areas, and then as it grows, as the business grows, we can branch off and be based in different areas and collect it wider range.
Yeah, perfect. So that bag behind you there, is that an example? So they have sort of fume, you know, sort of fume collector where it's all being collected anyway. Is that correct?
Yes.
Ah, perfect. Okay, thank you.
That's half of what the original dust is. Yeah.
So they're already collecting it and sending it for disposal. So instead they would just send it to your manufacturing facility.
Correct. Yes.
Great.
Good question. Great answer. Alan.
Well, you certainly picked a big problem to try and solve, because it does take an enormous amount of time for the plastic to break down. Why choose a beach box as what you will manufacture out of the waste products?
Well, we chose this material because we know that we found something. This doesn't exist anywhere on the market. And we thought that taking the material out of the surf industry, we want to put it back into the same industry. So the gap on the market is that it doesn't exist. And we want to create something that can fix, you know, such a small issue, but makes a big impact and a big change.
As it is, people are storing their wetsuits in plastic bags, and that's also going into the environment. So that's bad for our environment. So this product is going to.
So we're creating something that's reusable and not just a one-use item.
Thank you.
Great job, team. They were some tricky questions and you handled them with, real finesse. So excellent work. You can rest easy now. And we will cue our next team up to the virtual stage. Coming to us from Emerald, we've got Elite Fitness. So welcome to the stage, Oliver and Xander.
Hello.
How are we feeling, team?
Great. Yeah, pretty good.
Are we feeling ready?
Bit nervous.
Bit nervous. Yeah, I think that's been a running theme today, but I'm a big believer that nervous energy is good energy because it shows that you actually care. Awesome. So we're super pumped to hear your idea. Thanks for joining us for finals. So we're ready when you are.
Thank you. Next. Obesity affects many people at many ages and is becoming a growing problem in our population. The results range from physical through to mental health issues, with increased use of phones and other e-content absorbing us. We become further and further detached from the outside world. Our lifestyles are becoming increasingly sedentary. Next, it is estimated that over 38.2 million children under the age of 5 are already suffering from obesity, and the problem will only get worse. At XNO Health Development, we want to tackle the growing problem and we want to put forward a healthy lifestyle in children to take a step towards putting an end to child obesity. In order to attract customers, we aim to include children's games and other physical activities as a motivator to get children outside and moving around. Next.
The app requires a subscription, and with it, of our custom-made sport watches will be sent out. The child wearing it will be able to turn day-to-day activities and our physical challenges into a game. The watch will display a small character which can be upgraded more and more through points and earn from their physical activities. Our service don't stop from there. The app can be customized by parents as well, and they will be in a loop of what the child is doing. We'll encourage and support healthy diets by emailing our nutritionist and made diet plans that considers the child's level of physical activity, their conditions and dietary requirements. We're not Fitbit, we're not Garmin. We don't want to be. We want to be more than just give health data. We want to provide a personalized, fun way to change the lifestyle of children on a day-to-day basis and bring excitement back into outdoors and getting your body moving.
Next. In order to launch the solution, we will require we are estimating a budget of $50,000 to $100,000 to launch the product fully. That includes creating prototypes of the product and going through the basic necessities of a company's welfare, such as employees, insurance, and other things. We will also need connections into Apple, Google, and other phone app stores in order to launch our product onto their sites. We would also need to hire health professionals that uphold appropriate certifications to personalize eating plans for the children that sign up. This project would take 8 to 10 months to set up, as connections with big companies that advocate children's products such as Target, Big W, and Kmart take time to build connections with. We will also be supporting our customers by providing constant updates as we become more experienced and help them push towards a healthier lifestyle. We want to keep pushing a higher quality product and keep our development costs manageable. We will aim to focus on our product, on producing a specialized feature-packed product before aiming it towards the masses in order to maximize its reach, advertisement.
Well done, team. Oh, the timer is brutal, but you did an exceptional job pitching a really complex product, I think, in a really concise way. So awesome work. We will welcome our judges back. And Alan, we'll start with you.
Okay, thanks, boys. That was really good, Oliver and Xander. Could you tell me why you chose this particular topic or idea?
We chose this product because we both feel like we've suffered weight problems in the past, and we don't wish that for any children in the current day or in the future.
All right, thank you. That's good.
Awesome. Adele.
I love the idea of gamified exercise. Just trying to understand, are you creating an app that will go on devices, or do you create the device and the app?
We're going to create software that it's a little Tamagotchi kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be interactive and get the children motivated to become active and do their tasks in order to earn points and other things that can be used to customize their little pet.
Okay. That was my question.
You had me at Tamagotchi. Deb, over to you.
Based on your experience of being overweight yourselves, how did you become motivated to lose weight?
Xander's going to speak in his perspective and I'll speak in my perspective.
All right. So me personally, I went through bullying in grade 3 to 4, and that motivated me to get into the gym later in life because I realized that I wanted to change where I was and I didn't want to stay at that same level.
For my story was same thing, bullying, and I just felt like physical activity, I'll just get puffed really easily. So I just wanted to motivate myself and get to the gym, be more active, that kind of style. that's why I really want to focus on that. So now I play a lot of sports. So yeah, and focus on gym mainly. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, team. Thanks for sharing so much of your story in your idea as well. It's really powerful for you to kind of communicate how important this is to you, and I guess the lived experience that's informed the idea as well. So great work. All right, we're going to roll into our fourth pitch for the session. My gosh. So Wavell State High School, we've got Simplish. Oh gosh, I had to read that twice to make sure I had it right. Simplish joining us for this particular pitch. How are you feeling? Lachlan, are you feeling ready? Are you in the zone?
Yep.
Awesome. I can see great things happening in the next 3 minutes. We're ready when you are.
Hi, my name is Lachlan Kruger, and my innovation is Simplish, a simple English. Next slide. NAPLAN results from 2016 to 2018 show an increase in the percentage of below minimum standards in writing from 3.9% to 5.6%. This statistic is quite alarming and brings to attention the tremendous problem with English spelling. My brothers both struggle to read and write, my older brother from dyslexia and my younger brother from complications related to ADHD. I wanted to help people like them. I want to make spelling easier. Next slide. I created a new system of spelling for the English language, one in which words are truly spelled how they sound, making it easier for everyone and future generations to spell. This means the deletion of unnecessary letters and silent letters, as well as concrete spelling for different vowel combinations that are currently illogical. My earlier prototype has been adapted to reflect the pronunciation of Australian English. Next slide. Here is my updated prototype that has been modified to represent Australian English. This prototype includes concrete spellings for individual vowels, vowel combinations, and finally consonants, which do not change when grouped together. Here is an example sentence in both current and simplest spelling. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. Next slide. Previous systems aimed to reform English spelling have retained some ridiculous spelling from current English in different situations. My system works phonetically, only requiring the user to sound out the word, hence making my system intuitive and other systems obsolete. Next slide. I plan to launch the spelling reform as an educational course, possibly launched independently or in partnership with educational platforms such as Education Perfect, in which I plan to get into contact with regarding the possibility that Simplish can become a module on their platform. I also plan for Simplish to be available with different colors in the background and dyslexic fonts to further aid individuals with dyslexia to read and write. Simplish also has the possibility to be adapted for other dialects of English in the future. It has been designed in this way to truly bring about a global change. Next slide. I estimate the cost range of this implementation to be around $1,500 to cover all possible costs. This number was taken from Teachable's $119 a month pro expenses. Teachable is an online course creating platform. The current plan for Simplish is to be a non-profit organization being formatted as a social campaign implemented through educational course as previously stated. Next slide. It is of the utmost importance that we solve this problem with spelling now because as time goes by, our language's sound develop and it's not uncommon for the written language to fall behind, stuck in the past. We must not let English get to this stage. We must reform English spelling.
Well done, Lachlan. Right on the line. Love it. Let's welcome our judges back to see if they've got any questions for you. And Adele, we're actually going to start with you.
Yeah, great pitch, by the way, and good job getting it done in time. I suppose my question is, who is your customer?
My customer is more for, in regards to like Education Perfect, it would be for school children, which implemented throughout schools probably, possibly more for younger year ages and stuff like more primary school.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome, Deb.
To clarify, are you wanting, like, say, myself as a 50 something-year-old person to change the way I write as well? Is it like this is a whole of, you know, kind of country initiative?
Well, I was more planning on the implementation through the younger generation, so it's slowly phased out type thing. So
Right.
it becomes the new norm.
Right. Okay. And it's the institutions that would pay for the learning as opposed to the individual?
Yes, institutions.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Deb. Alan.
Well, Lachlan, as a former school principal, I know only too well the problem you're addressing. In your pitch, you made mention of Australian English, and then later on you talked about a global spread for what you wish to do. How do you think you'll manage then the differences between Australian English and the US or the UK, to just use two other examples?
Well, usually in different English dialects, especially with vowels, they'll have different vowels for the same thing, but they can just be switched type thing. So I can just switch out the vowels and then sort of tweak how it is also presented as well, just for that to work for other dialects. And for example, like the American hard R at the end of their words instead of R open R would be represented with the R at the end.
Good. Okay, thank you.
Great that you've done some thinking on that, Lachlan. Thank you so much for sharing your idea with us, and you know, really interesting initiative given the challenge that young people have, particularly when you're coming from a different background where English isn't your first language as well. So excellent work. I cannot believe it, but we've only got one to go. Gosh, how did we get here? So we'd love to welcome Corinda State High School's Tutoring Together to the stage. Hey team, how are we?
Hey, I'm good. We're good. Excited.
Oh, I'm excited. Let me just double check that I've got this right. Is it Wissam and Daria?
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, legends, we are so pumped for your pitch, so we're ready when you are.
Yep. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to introduce to you Tutoring Together. My name is Daria.
And my name is next slide. When I was in primary school, I struggled to understand English because it was not my first language. It slowed down the progress I made in class. An older friend I had at the time helped me learn English as he knew it well and he made it simple and easy to understand.
We discovered that 1 in 5 children who are from immigrant families in Australia feel alienated. This resulted in an education gap between ethnicities. Wasam's experience inspired us to create Tutoring Together, as we did not want any more students to struggle in school because of the language barrier. Tutoring Together is a way to make sure all students have the same opportunities and achievements. Next slide.
Our business provides a tutoring service for students from minority groups or immigrants. We offer to teach students in their native language to understand their studies. At Tutoring Together, we want to see a world where every student can succeed in school. Every child should be able to thrive and enjoy learning no matter what language they speak. Next slide.
To accomplish our vision, we have some key values that are commonly follows. We support our students in their learning and system to improve their skills in the subject. Tutoring students from similar backgrounds who speak the same language also helps to build a sense of community. It connects students and helps them to ease into life in a different country by making some friends. Next slide.
To implement our idea into the real world, we will collaborate with school to start our business. We can work with the school tutoring service to gather students and have a place to tutor them.
After establishing a proven system, we'll be able to expand to other schools in the metro region with students who also need assistance in their education. Additionally, we want to assist primary AEST schools so they can excel without the need of tutoring in high school. Next slide.
Our tutoring service costs $30 per hour, which is significantly cheaper than the $60 average elsewhere. The lessons are extendable upon request.
To cut initial costs, we will handle tutoring ourselves, leveraging our national languages to teach the students. We aim to have volunteers from our school as students in grade 10 must complete their volunteering lines. Next slide.
Thank you for listening. Do you have any questions for us?
Well done, team. Really amazing use of time there to get through that concept, and also love that it comes from a lived experience as well. So thanks for sharing that with us too. So judges, we get to ask one final round of questions, and Deb, you get to kick us off.
My question is around the availability. You know, if somebody's in a really multicultural school, I mean, have you found that if there's a number of different languages being spoken, that you would have the right amount of tutors to be able to cater for everybody, or are you just focusing on what the majority of the languages?
Yeah, so like our business ideas like start with just us two, using students from our languages. But we know that our school has like a lot of languages and a lot of like different cultures. So then we can like ask students from like higher grade levels or like our friends who speak different languages, and then we can like increase our student bases like, as soon as we like grow.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, team. Alan, over to you.
Well done, boys. Could you tell me, who have you bounced this idea off, and who's provided you with advice? What types of people?
So we've got advice from like our teachers, and when we had our Shark Tank at like our school, we had some judges come in and they gave us like valuable advice on how to like shape our business and grow it. And that's like given us so many ideas on like how to grow in the future, and we can go in many different directions.
Okay. Thank you. Good luck with it.
Thanks, team. Adele.
I just have a clarifying question. So are you I noticed you said year 10 likely for tutors. So are you targeting these at, 7, 8, 9, or are we going into primary school as well?
We can also go into primary school, but at the moment, since we want to start in our school, it'll be from grade 7 to grade 10.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent work, team. All right, guess what? You guys have held all of the burden of pressure up until now, but now it's on our judges. So our judges now, we're going to bid them farewell, and they are going to move into the judges' deliberation room to duel it out to pick a winner and a runner-up. And in this time, we have now opened the people's vote. And so if you are watching right now, you have the opportunity to vote for your favorite team by using this QR code or this link. You'll have about 5 minutes or so to vote for your favorite, and we will return with our judges' verdict in a few minutes' time. There has been some fast and furious voting happening in the background. I can see at least 200 votes have come through. Potentially more, but at least 200 votes have come through. So there's been a lot of fast fingers texting and voting for their favourite in the time that you've been deliberating. Who is the spokesperson? Who is, Alan, you're the tribute. I'd love to know, before you reveal the runner-up and the winner, talk to us a little bit about, without revealing teams' names, how did the conversation go? Well, what were some of the things that you were discussing behind the scenes in deliberating?
So we deliberated pretty carefully around a number of factors. One was how likely is it able to be able to go to market, and what sort of market would it have? What sort of problems would have to be overcome in getting it to market? What sort of development it was already at, and where it's at the moment. And we also then looked at the presentation and the kind of logic of how it had got to the stage where it's already up to. And like, we really, really thought that all of the presentations had some great inputs into it, some really great thinking. But we came down to 2, as we were asked to do, based on a number of factors. The key one being, well, okay, which ones have most chance of gaining acceptance in the marketplace?
Sounds like it was a robust dialogue in the background.
It was robust. It was robust. There wasn't huge differences, but it was pretty robust. We thought that there were fantastic aspects of all 5. So it was actually really hard to kind of cut 3 out, really.
Okay, cool. Well, we've dragged this out long enough. There are 5 anxious teams that are like, can we hurry this process up a little bit? You're talking too much, Nick. Why don't we reveal the runner-up first? So the team that is going through as our showcase finalist for the grand final is
Elite Fitness.
Emerald State High School.
Great. Come on, do the reaction again.
Yeah, redo the reaction.
I'm
I
not
hope
gonna
somebody was
say-
feeling.
I can't say.
There was jumping involved, just FYI.
Leah, please tell me you were videoing when it happened.
Nah, she wasn't.
No, but we got the recorder and I'll show the Facebook thing.
Excellent. Congratulations,
Oh, thank you
team.
too.
Through to the grand final as our showcase team. Excellent work.
And the winner,
All right. The big kahuna. The winner going through to pitch on stage as one of our 8 finalists at the National Grand Final
is Ashland Industries, Canterbury College.
Ashutosh, well done.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Very, very proud of you and excited to have you as one of our grand finalists this year. As a little bit of background, I met this young person at our Logan Big Ideas Challenge last year, and his passion for this particular project hasn't wavered in that time. So I know he's been working behind the scenes to really pursue this for a significant length of time. So congratulations. Excellent work.
Thank you so much. And thank you for the opportunity to be in the Activate challenge.
Our pleasure. You're a little bit taller this year than last year, I will say that. Congratulations, mate. We're thrilled to have you as one of our grand finalists for this year. Well, I also have the people's votes in the background, and I can confirm that I severely underquoted the number of votes that we had. So the team have corrected me. In this semi-final, we had over 600 votes come through for our people's vote, which is something else. I don't know how our website is holding up against all of this furious voting, but the team going through as our wild card, potentially, for the grand final, coming to us from the Gold Coast, is Marymount College's Beach Box, winning the people's vote. Congratulations, team.
Thank you.
Well, you have a little bit longer to wait to find out whether you're through to the grand final, but you're in with a hot chance now that you've secured the people's vote. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done, Marymount. Excellent. Well, I just want to say a huge thank you, Alan, Deb, and Adele. Thank you for your time today. We can't do stuff like this without people like you. And I know all 3 of you are activators in our program this year as well. So you've been working to mentor our schools through the delivery of the Activate program, and then have generously given your time up as well today to support us in finals. So thank you so much for your time and your expertise and your generosity. Excellent. All right. So there's only one thing to do now, and that is to let you know that tickets for the grand final are open. So if you haven't secured yours, we strongly suggest you do, because this one will sell out. It's being held on Monday, the 20th of November, from 5 p.m. at the Triffid in Newstead in Brisbane. So you can grab physical tickets if you'd like to join us in person. Otherwise, if you're joining us from somewhere else around Australia or the world, grab a live stream ticket and join us from your couch, or potentially in your pajamas with a glass of something bubbly and tasty from wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining us for our semi-finals today, whether you joined us for this semi-final or you've been here for the whole day tuning in. I don't know about you, but there's something so uplifting and energizing about watching such a talented group of young people pitch ideas that matter so much to them. So I'm excited to say we've still got another day to go. So if you're keen to see more, and I know I am, please join us on Thursday, because we have our final 4 semi-finals to choose our final 4 teams that will go through to pitch at the grand final, as well as our showcase teams. So there's more where this came from. It's not over yet. A huge thank you to our parents and caregivers that have supported our young people, and also to our schools, our educators and our teachers and our principals and our leaders who make it possible for programs like this to be run in schools, and also on the ground supporting all of our young people with the tech requirements to be present to tune in today. We can't do the work we do without the great work of you on the ground in our schools, and we're so grateful for the partnerships that we have with our schools. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you all on the live stream on Thursday for a little bit more where this came from. Thank you.